Hey everyone, today we are diving into something I think a lot of us can relate to. We're going to completely reframe how we look at messiness and, get this, uncover some of the actual strategic benefits of living in what some people might call, well, organized chaos. Let's get right into it.
Does this sound familiar at all? You've got piles of books, maybe some clothes living on that one chair, a desk that's just buried under papers. But if someone asks you for something, you can find it in like 2 seconds flat. If that's you, then you're in the right place, because you might actually be on to something big.
You know, for so long, society has basically told us that being messy is some kind of moral failing, that it means you're lazy or your mind is all over the place. But what if that's just wrong? What if instead of being a flaw, it's actually a secret weapon? That's the big question we're going to unpack today.
Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics, how we actually feel in our own space. I mean, sure, a lot of people love those super clean, minimalist rooms. But for others, the exact opposite is true. They find this weird, unique sense of comfort in what looks, to the outside world, like total chaos.
The myth, the idea we're all sold, is that all that visual clutter is like sensory noise. It's distracting, it's overwhelming, and it's just plain bad for your focus and your peace of mind. You see this everywhere, right? From home organization shows to all those productivity gurus online.
But here's the thing, the reality is way more complicated. For people who are just naturally disorganized, their brain is running a completely different operating system. It's not that they enjoy the noise, it's that their brain doesn't even register the clutter as noise in the first place. It all just fades into the background so they can focus on what actually matters to them.
And that leads us to a really crucial point. This isn't about being lazy, not at all. It's actually about being efficient. It's about a brain that's hardwired to save its energy for very specific things. Let's break that down a bit more.
So, look at this. It's like we're comparing two totally different types of computers. The tidy brain, on one side, it needs that external order to feel calm on the inside. It has to spend energy organizing just to quiet down all that sensory input. But the messy brain, it does the opposite. It avoids the super mentally draining task of organizing everything because it's saving its precious cognitive resources for other stuff.
And this brings us to this key idea called cognitive load. The easiest way to think about it is like your brain's battery life, or its processing power. Every single tiny decision, where do I put this pen, how should I file this paper, should I keep this thing, it all drains that battery. For the messy brain, the cost of constantly organizing is just way too high. It's a strategic choice to spend that mental energy somewhere else. So if all that brain power isn't going towards cleaning and organizing, where's it going? Well, a lot of the time, it's being channeled inward. It's all about prioritizing a rich, vibrant internal world over a perfectly manicured external one. There's actually a term for this, low stimulation preference. It basically just means your mind is so busy, so engaged with ideas and thoughts and creative projects that you just don't need your outside world to be perfectly arranged to feel calm or focused. Your inner world is already a party. It provides all the stimulation you need.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's a simple cost-benefit analysis. The reward you get from an hour spent reading or learning something new or just daydreaming is so much greater than the benefit of a perfectly tidy room. It's a deliberate trade-off every single time.
Okay, so we figured out it's about efficiency, not laziness. And it's about a rich inner life, not just chaos for chaos's sake. But there's even more. This whole approach actually comes with some pretty surprising advantages, especially when things get tough.
Here's the real superpower. When life gets genuinely chaotic, like a sudden move, a crisis at work, some totally unexpected event, the people who are already comfortable with a bit of mess are often completely unfazed. Their adaptability is off the charts because their sense of stability was never tied to their physical environment to begin with. They've got this emotional distance from their surroundings, and they have literally a lifetime of practice in strategically deciding where their mental energy needs to go. They're basically built for disorder.
And finally, let's just zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. Because this is more than just a personal quirk. For some people, it's a quiet little act of rebellion against what society expects. Just think about the insane pressure these days to have a perfect, Instagram-ready home. It's become this performance of being competent and in control. And some people are just choosing to opt out. They're rejecting that performance because they find way more authenticity in a space that actually looks like a life is being lived, not one that's been perfectly curated for an audience. So that really leaves us with one final thought. Being messy is just one example of going off the societal script. And it makes you wonder, right? What are the pressures in our own lives? What are the performances that we're all expected to put on? And which ones might we choose to reject to live a life that feels a little more authentic? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me.